what's up? Welcome to Project Freelance, the podcast all about freelancing. And no, I'm not cold, but I am cozy. Thank you. Welcome to the show, guys. How's it going? This is Project Freelance. So what's up, guys? My name is Kay. I am a freelance videographer, photographer, drone pilot, podcaster, editor. I do a lot of things. A lot of my clients refer to me as the Swiss Army knife of creation, which is really cool. I like having like a cool like moniker like that. Let me just, hold on. I'm just going to slide you over here a little bit. So first of all, I don't know if you watch my video or my podcast on YouTube or listen on Spotify, but if you are watching, you will notice my surroundings are a little bit different. I moved. The owner of the house that I was renting decided to sell the property. So they gave me two options. They said, or three options. They said, you can, one, offer to buy the house for like $336,000. But that was like the first house I moved to when I moved here to Nashville. And I knew that I didn't want to like buy a house at the time. I just wanted to rent something until I moved to the next thing, whatever. And so I was like, no, I'm not going to buy $336,000 house that I don't particularly want. So that was not an option for me. The second option was to help them show the house 2 to 3 times a week until the house is sold and then move, which like I also don't want to do. I work from home and it's like it would be a lot of hassle. I also travel a lot for work, so like I might not be home. So it just becomes a whole other thing. Strangers in your space, that whole deal. So I was like, no, that's not going to work. Or they said I could move in 8 days before August 1st. So that was 8 days ago. I've now been in this new property for 8 days. Thankfully, my landlord actually had another property that was about half a mile down the road in the next neighborhood over. So it all ended up kind of working out. I also wanted to move in October anyway. I was going to ask my landlord if he had another property. So it all kind of like worked in my favor anyways. I don't know why I'm telling you this. I just am telling you basically that I moved. So my surroundings are different. Welcome to my new place. It's pretty sick. The wall over here, I painted black, which is so cool. Here, let me just spin you around. If you're not watching this, you should definitely go check it out on YouTube. I got to put some stuff on this cool little honeycomb shelf over here, this little guy. And then this lights up, this cool sound panel. It's also very heavy. It was difficult to put up. My snake tank is over there now. I have a cat sleeping on a couch over here while I'm doing this podcast. So yeah, today I wanted to talk about niching down and like the pros and cons of niching down as a freelancer, because I feel like a lot of people when they're first starting out, they're like, oh, I got to find my niche, you know, and that's whether it be a YouTube content creator or if you are a videographer or aspiring videographer or whatever. A lot of people niche down because they think that they have to do that. And I'm curious to know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if you are listening on Spotify, you will now have the capability to leave comments on podcasts. So please leave comments so that I can read them and kind of get your feedback. But I don't think you should niche down personally. But I never went into freelancing with the thought of like niching down in the first place, because I thought like, well, if I niche down, if I pick one type of thing to shoot, I'm going to get bored and it's going to be a lot like a 9-to-5, which is like what I was trying to avoid when I started freelancing in the first place. Right. So, my journey has been like all over the place. I've done all kinds of different things. But I think that's why I get more jobs, or like a variety of jobs. So I've done things in the sports world, in the medical world. I've done weddings, which like I'm not too fond of. Now I kind of only shoot friends' weddings because like I just don't like, I don't like dealing with all the other things that has to do with like a stranger's wedding. For example, like that is one of the most important days of their lives, and like that comes with a lot of stress and pressure on them and on you. And it's not that I don't work well under pressure. I do, but like it's just not the environment I want to be in. It's a high stress environment that like is supposed to be happy, but it always turns out to be more stressful than like happy. So that's just why I'm not fond of weddings. I think they're beautiful, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I love shooting my friends' weddings, but I know them. I know how they are. I know how they work under pressure. So it's a little bit different shooting my friends' weddings. So that's kind of like where I'm at with that specific thing. But yeah, I've shot weddings. I have, like I said, sports. I've done all kinds of sports too. Golf, UFC, boxing. I've done speedboats. I did the X Games. Like, I've done a bunch of different sports. So that lends itself to getting other types of jobs. So anytime I see like I need a sports photographer, I'm like, yo, what's up? I've done all kinds of sports. I can handle this. And I do a lot of conferences these days, a lot of like conventions. I just did Bitcoin conference here in Nashville for 3 different companies over the 3 days, which was cool. Like I got to like mix it up. But I've also done like stints as video editor for different companies where I like go to an office and edit, and like that becomes a 9 to 5. And like, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to work on something different every day. I'm trying to do something different every day. And that's what I love about being a freelancer, is that I can do something different every day. And if you are just shooting weddings, first of all, you only have like a season. Like you're working for the entire year. It's like working at a ski resort. Like you work for the entire winter at a ski resort so you can take your summer off or whatever to like travel or do whatever. That's similar with wedding stuff, I feel. But again, I don't know. I don't do weddings full time. So if you do weddings full time, please let me know in the comments below. Are you working for just the wedding season, and then are you like off the rest of the year booking for the next year? Like how does that back end work when it isn't wedding season? And I do understand that weddings kind of happen all year round, but there is definitely a wedding season. Like summer and fall is like the wedding season. People aren't trying to get married in the middle of December when it's snowing and freezing and uncomfortable because their families have to sit in the wet snow for 5 hours while they wait for you. Like that doesn't sound like a good time to me. But again, like I don't work weddings that often. Conventions are year round, which is great because rain or shine, you're inside. So like you can do it at a convention. So I work for, I freelance as a videographer, or photographer for conventions, but I also work for a company that will fly me out to different places to record the keynotes, whether it just be audio with the slideshow or video, audio, and the slideshow. They have a software that basically you plug everything in and you go to the website and you can remote record several rooms at the same time. Their software essentially syncs up the audio with the slideshow presentation as they advance the slides. Pretty cool company, great like software. So I work for them frequently throughout the year. And that is kind of sporadic. It's not like every month. It's like every couple of months I'll like get hit up and they'll ask like, hey, are you available for this date? And I'll say yes or no, depending on my schedule. I'm actually going to Pittsburgh for them in October. So that'll be cool. And it lies right before my cousin's wedding. So it actually like I'll be there like 3 days before the wedding and then stay for the wedding and then fly out. So that's pretty cool. How that like worked out timing wise. But some of the other things I do freelance wise, like I shoot the rocket launches down at SpaceX in Texas and soon to be Florida as well. We're trying to expand after this next IFT flight test. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go to the link in the description. Interstellar Gateway is the group that I am a part of. We filmed the Starbase rocket launches and we got some incredible footage at the IFT-4 launch. We're working on behind the scenes videos right now. We're making episodes for each launch. IFT-5, we have a bigger team. We're live streaming. Like there's a whole other part of it happening. I just bought some film, so I'm going to be shooting some stuff on film at that launch, at the next launch. So I'm very excited for that. Picked up a camera when I was in Greece a year ago and haven't done anything with it. So I was like, I'm just going to get some film and make this look cool and retro. So now I have to like learn how to use film and do that whole thing and travel with film, which is like a whole other thing. But yeah, it should be cool. Very excited for that. But that's the thing. Like I like being able to do different things, and I feel like niching down would just limit me to the amount of things that I could do. And so that's why I recommend not niching down. And this might be a hot take. This might be against everything that you've been told before, but I get like the consistency and the stability of having a niche and like, you know what you have, but you still freelance. You still have to schedule the things. You still have to book things out like in advance as much as you can. But like with freelancing, so the other thing I do is I tour with bands. So like that is very schedule heavy. So for example, I work for a group called the Emo Orchestra. It's a full 16-person orchestra, a conductor, a band that plays emo bangers with the orchestra. We travel for 6 weeks. We're going out at the end of this year again for the third emo orchestra iteration. And so that's 6 weeks that I already have booked. So if I was like in a niche thing, like I might not be able to do that. Or if I had a 9-to-5, I might not be able to do that. But as a freelancer, I can pick and choose the tours that I want to go on. And emo orchestra is something that I consistently can count on, to be there and to employ me for those 6 weeks, which is really cool. But that being said, it does take me from being at home a lot. You know, I'm not home very often. Right now I'm home for I think this will be my second or third week home. And then I leave again next week for 4 weeks. And then, the cycle repeats and I just keep doing things, which is awesome because I love to travel for my job. It is hard leaving my pets at home, but I have great friends that take care of them while I'm gone. So that's a whole other story and topic for another time, is like how to take care of your house when you're away freelancing. But yeah, this whole episode is basically just me talking to you guys about my journey and why I never did niche down. I've tried it. Like I said, I've done some stints as a photographer for a restaurant, which was my first job when I moved back to America, from living overseas as a young adult and a teenager. And then I got asked to go on tour and I never went back to that job. I was like, hey, sorry, I want to pursue this touring thing and I finally got my shot. So I'm going to do that. And that's just carried me through till now. Trying to grow a business and do that stuff while traveling and being on remote jobs can be difficult, but it is very fulfilling because I love what I do. And while it does feel like work, because it is work, it's also very fun. And I love that about it. Shooting music videos is super fun. And yeah, just being able to do so many different things and having the skills to shoot in many different environments, whether it be indoor, outdoor, and direct sunlight. I can shoot in any environment, dark venues where shows are. So yeah, there's I've learned so many styles of shooting because I am in so many different environments, and that has lent itself to allow me to do these different types of jobs. But I'm curious to know what you guys do. Are you niche down? Do you only shoot one type of thing? Do you shoot a bunch of different types of thing? And if so, why? I would like to know. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to this episode of Project Freelance. If you would like to come on the show, hit me up. My email's in the description. I'd love to have more people on the show that have built their businesses. And come back next week. I will be having another guest on the show. His story is really cool, so be sure to subscribe and come back for the next episode. And apologies for this not being a consistent thing that I do. Again, I travel a lot for work and it's hard to be consistent with a podcast, but I do love podcasting. I love this show, so thank you guys for sticking around and being interested in what I have to say. I appreciate you guys. If you guys want to pick up one of my photography books or any gear that I recommend, check the links in the description. Those links are Amazon affiliate links, so I do get some kickback from that. And of course, if you buy one of my photography books, you buy a photography book. That money goes straight to me so I can make more photography books. Which also, by the way, that's another topic for another time. Photography books are the least profitable thing that I sell and do, but they are the most rewarding. I get the most gratitude out of signing those and mailing those out to people. Even though it's the least profitable thing that I offer, it's so much fun to get to ship those out. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. And I will talk to you soon. Stay strong, keep enduring, get it out there, and go create something. See you guys.